championship night inside Jenison Fieldhouse on Michigan State University's campus. BTN Gymnastics presented by Pure Silk. The evening session of the championships. After a couple hours, we will have a champion decided. Here's what happened in the afternoon session. Illinois, the top team and the leading team, headed into this evening session. And individually, the all-around competition, leading also by Fighting Illini gymnast Alina Weinstein. 3/10 better than a couple of other gymnasts, Gianna O'Connor and Allie Barone, highlighted by a 9.95 on the floor and a 9.9 here on the vault. And a little emotion afterwards as the senior kind of registers that her conference career is now done. Alongside Kylie Boderman-Kalort, the 2011 Gymnast of the Year, I'm Lisa Byington. And where does that put Weinstein and Illinois watching now for this evening session?
Kind of puts them in a waiting game. They have to sit back and hope that what they did in the afternoon session is enough to potentially get that all-around title and team title.
Weinstein will have her eye on particular some of the all-arounders here tonight, and you will have your eye on 3.
I will. There are some tough competitors in this evening session. Joanna Sampson being one of them from Michigan. She's first on floor in the nation, 3rd in the all-around ranking. She's a powerhouse gymnast in the running to be the Big Ten Gymnast of the Year. Emily Wong from Nebraska. She's last year's Big Ten beam, floor, and all-around champion, ranked in the top 20 on 3 out of her 4 events. Shareya Musser from Penn State. She's 2011 Big Ten all-around champion and last year's Big Ten Gymnast of the Year, hoping to help Penn State to their first Big Ten victory.
Some of the big names and some of the big guns, and we have 4 big teams, including the Minnesota Golden Gophers, regular season co-champs. What will these teams do? We got the first rotation coming up next. Gymnastics on BTN is presented by Pure Silk, rich and luxurious shave cream for women for legs that look and feel like Pure Silk. Also in part by Alpha Factor, your source for custom gymnastics apparel. Compete with confidence. Taking a look at our Northwestern Mutual planning for success. The Michigan Wolverines going for 20 championships here tonight, followed by Minnesota and Ohio State, each with 5 for their respective programs. Illinois and Nebraska with the 1. Nebraska, the defending champs here in the Big Ten. The Alpha Factor lineup here, we'll start with the Penn State Nittany Lions, who have that Olympic order on the vault there for Jeff Thompson and company. Keep an eye on Lexi Carroll and Madison Merriam and Shareya Musser, some of the big names over for Nebraska and Dan Kendig's Huskers. They start out on the bars. Janelle Giblin, one of the names to watch. Jessie DeZiel, a super sophomore. And on the beam for Minnesota, Meg Stevenson, co-regular season champs there with Michigan. They will start on the beam, and that is their lineup. And they were co-regular season champs with Bev Plotke. And Michigan, they're on the floor. In fact, the Golden Gophers are the only team that's 3-0 against everybody else here in this evening session. The second consecutive year that these championships have been divided into an afternoon session and an evening session, and this is the first year of the regular season championship when all of these teams were able to face each other at least once. And Michigan and Minnesota, as you can see there, co-champions with a 6-1 record. And talking to Dan Kendig, he said it was interesting for him because last year, even though this was their first year in the Big Ten, they still primarily had a Big 12 schedule. And so this was their first year to travel to some of the different Big Ten sites and get a feel for really what the Big Ten Conference is all about.
I'm sure he was happy to meet with each of those Big Ten teams to prepare him for this championship meet today.
Technically, Nebraska is going for a 3rd straight conference championship. They're the defending champs from last year, but they won in their final season in the Big 12 as well. So they're going for 3 straight championships here for the Nebraska Cornhuskers. You take a look at Meg Stevenson. She said yesterday to us that they don't really have anything to prove They won the regular season co-championships with Michigan. They're here to compete and win, but they're here to have a good time as well. We're going to start out on the floor with Michigan. No team in the country is better than the Michigan Wolverines on this event, and Natalie Beilstein, a second All-Big Ten honoree, is going to get us started.
Beautiful opening pass from Nat. Used to do an Arabian double front for her opening pass, which is also, it's the same value, but it's what she injured her Achilles on, so not comfortable doing it, going back to the full in, and she's good at it, so why not?
Very powerful, strong gymnast. One of the seniors for this Wolverine team.
Like you said, Michigan's #1 on this event. That said, it's going to be tough to start on floor, on your best event, when nobody else has done it yet, but you have to start somewhere, and hopefully they can prove to the judges and to the other teams right now that they are the best, and their scores will hold throughout the evening.
Next on the uneven bars,
Beilstein's final pass.
Front double full punch front. Great way to start off that floor.
And I see a good amount of amaze here in this crowd as Beilstein gets a hug from her head coach and a high five here from her team. Taking a look at Brittany Skinner here on the bars here for Nebraska.
You were watching right when we turned to her. You saw that huge release move, how high she gets in the air. Big gymnastics from Skinner on all 4 events, but that double layout dismount, beautiful.
One of the all-arounders here for Nebraska. Sydney Sanabria Robles here for Penn State.
Ankle full, pikes down at the end, causing her to take a hop forward. That's where most of her deduction will come from.
That was moments ago, so Sanabria Robles recording a 9.7 on that vault. We saw Brittany Skinner on the bars. The leadoff, Holly Belansky for Nebraska, recording a 9.825 before Skinner. Heading over to the beam, and Sierra Thompson from Minnesota.
First event of the Big Ten Championships. First curl up. Has to be a little nerve-wracking, but she has to get the team started off on the right foot. Somebody has to do it. Why not Sierra? She's been great in this role so far this season.
We saw Iowa had to start out on the beam in the afternoon session. It's Minnesota's turn. The Gophers coming off a season-high score against Ohio State, 197.225.
She looks solid up there. She's confident. Everything that a leadoff athlete needs to have.
And her dismount coming up.
Layout from full, stuck the landing. Beautiful routine from Sierra.
That was Sierra Thompson moments ago. A 9.75 she recorded on that routine. And this, moments ago, Emily Wong. Last year's all-around champ.
Emily's tied for first in the Big Ten on this event. She is an All-American on bars as well.
basket.
And I think she just proved to you why she has all of those high rankings.
She did not move. Emily Wong, the junior, and the score coming in on that routine, a 9.925 there for Emily Wong. Going back to the vault, Alexis Carroll in the number 2 slot there for Penn State.
A little trip up she had at the ending there. Unique vault half on pike runoff. We saw that earlier today in the first session. Just looked like she bent her knees a little too soon before she found the ground and got kind of tripped over her foot there.
Alexis Carroll recording a 9.75, her score coming in on that routine. And so you saw the Huskers on fire here on the bars. We're going to take a look now at Jessie Dazile, a sophomore. Her teammates, a 9.825, a 9.8, and a 9.925 so far in this event.
Jessie moves really well in this event. She hits the handstands and has difficult moves such as that one.
Nebraska getting it done so far on the uneven bars. Wow, look. We'll wait on her score. A lot of high ones there coming for Nebraska. We go back to Katie Zorales, first team All Big Ten honoree here on the floor.
Next on the vault for Penn State, Shereen Musser.
Big double pike, overdoes it a little bit, has to take an extra step back. She will be deducted for that extra step. Beautiful tumbling pass from Katie. Having such an awesome year, her senior year. Very happy
Next
for
on
her.
the bars
She's
for
had so
Nebraska,
many injuries
Kenzie
over
Casey.
her career. Holding it together for this last hurrah.
Michigan recording an 8.450 with Riley Casanova's routine. They're going to have 4 solid routines here to finish out this event.
That was Cassandra Nathan on the bar.
Finishing up here, combination pass, front full, front layout. She's happy, exactly what they needed after a routine like Riley's. Start picking it up. They want to be on the way up throughout the rest of this event.
There's the senior, Katie Zorales. And a second ago, Lindsay Musgrove for Penn State, the junior. See her on the vault. We'll also see her on the floor today.
Nice layout half. Yurchenko, great body position, just has a step to the side.
A few perfect 10s. And how about Janelle Giblin on the bars March 4th? This was her routine. Did not move an inch there on the dismount. Janelle Giblin, the senior. And here she is, 2013 in the Big Ten Championships.
Big Tkacic, straight to a straddle back to handstand. Beautiful handstand work. Sticking is just contagious. That was not Janelle Giblin, Lisa. That was Nathan. We will be seeing Giblin, however, who did get the perfect 10 that we just saw.
We just wanted to hold and pause and for dramatic effect. And we'll get back to Janelle Giblin's routine, but Cassandra Nathy recording a 9-9 there on that event. All 4 events going on here at one time.
Big Yurchenko full. She had a lot of height on that vault, just a slight pike down. Penn State had some nice vaults that we've seen. Very powerful, just getting deducted on the landing.
Joining in progress, Michigan's Rima Zachariah here on the floor. Katie Zaralis recording the 9.75 before her.
Beautiful front layout, front full. Rima's a natural front tumbler. We didn't see it, but her first pass is a punch. Front double flip. Always nails it. Just likes to have a good time on this event.
She is a floor specialist here for the Wolverines. And her routine plays to her personality.
Finishes with the round off double pike. Looked like the mat, she got a little slipped up on the mat there on the landing, but overall, Rima's trying to pick those scores back up.
Over to Madison Merriam for Penn State. The first time in her career that she received the first all Big Ten team selection.
I love watching Maddie's vault. On senior night, she got a career high 9.95, just has that beautiful line in the air. Has the dynamic and just took a hop.
We saw Janelle Giblin with that 10. What can she do here in 2013 in the Big Ten Championships?
Quick combination from Janelle, such nice line. Slight step on the dismount, great routine. Don't think it will be a 10 like we saw earlier in the video, but pretty darn close.
That was moments ago in that routine, recording the 9.85. And Sharia Musser, the big name here for Penn State in the anchor spot, and she anchors all events here for the Nittany Lions.
She just gets so high off of that table. That's a great vault, has a slight hop.
Back in 2011, she was the champ on this event.
Looks like the same exact vault to me, just had that tiny, tiny hop today.
She recorded a 9.85 present day there for Sharia Musser. We'll head back to the floor. Sachi Sujiyama. Her teammate Rima Zachariah recording a 9.775.
Double tuck from Sachi to start off. You'll see a lot of great choreography here tonight. I would say all 4 of these teams just know how to dance. They teach their girls well. It is important to be showing off your routine.
Sujiyama's name is Happiness, and she just looks happy when she does this routine.
She is. She's a happy girl. Sachi will be doing everything but beam today. Beautiful finish. Michigan's happy. I can hear him cheering.
Michigan needs to finish with a solid 4 routines there on that event. So far, they've got it from Zoralis, Zachariah, and Sujiyama. We head back over to the beam, and Lindsay Mabel, one of the top freshmen here in the conference. 6 times she has been awarded the Big Ten Freshman of the Week this year. What makes her so good?
She's just solid. She's only a freshman, and she stepped right into that role coming from club. Competed last year at JO Nationals as a level 10, took second on this event. So she has the experience on the big stage and has been doing great for Minnesota this year.
Minnesota starting on beam, but coming through with some solid scores. All hit routines so far here for the Gophers.
Showing some nice dance before she finishes up her routine. Side aerial to a layout full dismount. Another hit routine for Minnesota.
Lindsay Mabel recording a 9.9 on that event. And now you get to see the best floor gymnast in the country, Joanna Sampson here for Michigan.
Beautiful double layout from Joanna. She has a good time out there. I love watching this floor routine.
She has won or shared the floor title in 7 straight competitions, recording a 9.925 or higher.
Last week we saw her perform at Michigan and went 9.95. It was a near perfect routine.
Her teammate, Sachi Sujiyama's score coming in at a 9.9 on the floor.
Joanna finishes up here with a big double pike. Maybe the floor is bouncy. She kind of bounced out of that one, but anchored that lineup just like she knows how.
Let's take another look at this final pass.
It's a double pike. She's so high in the air, she almost kicks open, which you don't see too often, and nailed 3 for 3 passes.
First rotation is done. You might remember last year we got a visit from Shawn Johnson. Wait till you see who's going to visit with us coming up next. Well, watching Big Ten sports, add to the action with BTN Connect. See all the Twitter activity from around the conference. Get in-game stats and interact with our experts. Join your favorite team with btn.com/connect. Get socially charged. First rotation is done. And here are the results, starting with Penn State on the vaults. No surprise, Sharia Musser and Madison Merriam leading the way there for the Nittany Lions. Bars for Nebraska. Emily Wong, the defending all-around champ, leading the way there for the Huskers. Minnesota on the beam. Lindsay Mabel, the freshman, recording that 9.9 on her routine. And over to Michigan on the floor. The top team in the country had to come up big time in those last 4 routines. And Sampson leading the way with a 9.950. The team totals after 1 rotation here in the evening session. Nebraska leading the way. It's going to be tight. Michigan and Minnesota right on the Huskers' heels. Well, joining us in this second rotation, we're happy to have Jordyn Wieber, the 2012 gold medalist, member of the Fierce Five, and she lives just a hop, skip, and a jump in DeWitt, Michigan. Just, I don't know, 10 minutes away here from East Lansing. Thanks for taking the time and stopping in and saying hi.
Thank you for having me. I'm very excited.
We saw the photos. How do you wrap up what your life has been like the last 12 months?
Life has been very exciting the last 12 months. I mean, starting with the Olympics, I had the time of my life. It was an amazing experience, and to come away with the team gold medal was truly amazing. And then ever since then, it's kind of been a whirlwind of crazy traveling, and I've sort of gotten back to normal life a little bit, but still, it's very exciting.
Well, because you had practice this afternoon.
Yeah.
Tell us about that and where you see yourself competitively right now and in the future.
Well, recently I've gone back to training, and I realized, I'm not done with the sport. I want to keep going and keep competing. So my goal is to compete this fall at Visa Championships, so I'm looking forward to that.
Have you been keeping up with your teammate on Dancing with the Stars? We saw her perform last week.
Yes, I have. I'm very happy for Allie that she gets that opportunity, and I'll be cheering her on the whole way.
Well, celebrities get to meet other celebrities. So I got to, who's your favorite celebrity that you met here so far?
Oh my goodness, I've met so many awesome celebrities. We went to the VMAs, we got to meet Rihanna and Taylor Swift and all different sorts of people. And we also got to meet the president.
I was going to say, did you go to the White House? It's got to be like top of the list, right?
Yeah, that's definitely top of the list. That was a very cool experience.
Well, you were saying that eventually you'd like to go to UCLA as a graduate assistant coach.
Yes.
So we're going to have you put on your coaching hat, if you don't mind. Here in this second rotation, we're going to have you put on your analyst hat.
Okay.
As well. But just, I'm curious about your thoughts. Obviously, with turning pro, you don't have the chance to compete here collegiately. What's your take and what's your feel when you come to a championship like this?
I love college gymnastics, and I'm a huge fan of it. And although I won't be able to have the opportunity to compete on a college team, I'm still going to be able to go to UCLA and be the undergrad assistant coach. So I'll be a part of the team, and I'll get to experience all the same things except for competition. So I'm very excited about that. And I love the college gymnastics scene. I think it's very fun and upbeat and exciting.
Did you hear of Kylie Boderman when she was competing at Michigan?
Yes, I did. I watched her, and I remember a long time ago we went to Region 5 camps together, so that's pretty cool.
I do remember. And when I was in college, you went to a couple of the camps that were at Michigan's training center. And I was like, oh, is she going to come to Michigan? What's she doing?
We're going to start out with Brittany Skinner here for Nebraska on the beam. Not to jinx, but Nebraska, one meet, has had to count a fall for one meet all the season long. But Jordyn, what do you look for when you're watching a beam routine?
I think one of the most important things to look for on beam is confidence. That's something I always try to put into my beam routines. Just when you go up there, you look like you own the beam and you just show off your stuff. Obviously, no wobbles.
That's the broadcaster's jinx there, but the balance check, she caught herself. Kylie, what makes Brittany Skinner so good?
She's coming off of an injury and wasn't doing the all-around early this season. So it's nice to see her back competing on all four events and has been doing a solid job so far. Just looked a little off-center on that series she started with. But a stuck dismount's always good to see.
Nebraska tied for 6th in the nation with Michigan on this beam event. Jordyn, Miss Analyst, what do you see on the balance check?
It looks like she was just a little crooked on her set, but she did a great job pulling it back to stay on the beam. So hit routine, that's good for their team.
A moment ago, Stephanie Colbert for Michigan on the vault.
Steph's been in the leadoff spot this entire season, so she knows what she's doing, and she's trying to get those sticky feet going for Michigan.
Well, Stephanie Colbert reporting the 9.825. We're looking at Crystal Welsh here for Penn State on the uneven bars. What do you watch for here on this event, Jordyn?
One of the most on bars is to have a good, clean swing, and obviously form is an important thing, and a good landing on the dismount.
Crystal Welsh, the sophomore, wrapping up her routine. Her teammate Cassidy Stouter recording a 9.8 on that event just before her. Katie Zorales in the 2 slot here on the vaults.
Katie's the first team All-American on this event.
That's the greatest feeling in the world, isn't it?
Definitely, sticking that vault.
Cassandra Nathy of Nebraska had some season-ending injuries, 2011, 2012. She is back and competing.
And your favorite event, Jordan?
Yes, I've always loved beam ever since I first started gymnastics.
Why?
I don't know, I kind of, it's sort of weird, but I love the thrill of, you know, flipping on a 4-inch piece of wood. I just think it's the coolest thing.
Were you always like that?
I was kind of a daredevil when it came to gymnastics. I wasn't really too afraid of anything.
We just saw Cassandra off balance on her flight series, round off back layout to 2 feet, fell off the side. She fell last weekend, but they didn't have to count it. Let's hope they won't have to count it here again.
We saw Brittany Skinner's routine. She recording a 9.725. And Nathy. Cassandra Nathy, a senior here from Nebraska.
Do you know any of the athletes competing today or from Michigan State, or who are you familiar with here in East Lansing?
I have a few former teammates here today and on the Michigan State team, and I've watched them all the way because it's right in my hometown, so it's very cool to see all of them, and a couple of former national team members here too.
And you said earlier you wanted to go find trainer Larry Nassar. He's been a big part of your career over the last year or so, or?
Yes, it's been amazing to have Larry so close to home, and he's, one of the greatest gymnastics doctors, so it's great to have him close to me. He's been a huge help over the years.
And it's National Athletic Training Month.
Excuse me. Natalie Bielstein flashing back, the 2010 vault champ, and this is a look. Pretty good, huh?
Yes, very high difficulty on that vault, and to stick the landing is amazing.
What impressed you the most about that?
I think it's definitely the height, and to have a blind landing on a 1.5 and to be able to stick it, it's pretty impressive.
Here she is. Just a little hop.
Almost sticks it again. Same exact vault we just saw from last year. Slight hop forward.
That was moments ago, and Bielstein recording a 9.9 on that event. Jessie DeZiel, a sophomore, had a phenomenal freshman year, following that up with a good sophomore season as well. She represented the U.S. in the 2011 Pan American Games.
Jessie's been competing all around this entire season. Kind of in a pressure spot right now after her teammate just fell before her. Nebraska needs to hit the rest of their routines.
Just a moment's glance at Jessie DeZiel, one of the top gymnasts, Jordan. What comes to mind when you watch her at her beam routine?
She definitely looks like she has a lot of confidence. I think competing on an international scene helps a lot with that. So.
And stuck the landing.
Big, difficult dismount, 2.5, and nails it. That's great for Nebraska.
And hugs all around. Her teammate, Cassandra Nathy, recording the 9.35. We're going to go back here and look at Jessie DeZiel's dismount.
Why does she stick that? What makes that so good? How did she stick it?
She just had the perfect amount of air time, and she knew where she was in the landing, so she was able to stick it.
And she's probably done it a million times before that.
Heading back over to the vault for Michigan, Joanna Sampson, who recorded a 9.95 on her floor routine. This is her stepping up to the vault.
Joanna went to NCAAs last year solely for this event.
Well, Jordan, that's one of the top all-arounders in the country. You've seen her now on floor. You've seen her now on vault. What are your impressions?
She's a very powerful gymnast, and I think, vault and floor are two of her strongest events, and that can help out a team a lot.
Looking at the Illini is Alina Weinstein, who competed in the afternoon session. She's taking a peek at everything and keeping track of that all-around race. Madison Merriam here for Penn State on the bars. She hit her foot early in the season on this event, and it's almost like a turf toe that kind of affects her on this event.
She just has beautiful lines, easy to watch. And another stuck dismount.
Looked good, and it scored good at 9.875 there for Madison Merriam. One of the seniors, Sharia Musser, will anchor that event, another senior here for Penn State. A flashback to last year, Sachi Sujiyama. She was the vault winner. She wasn't moving on that one. And here she is, 2013, present day. Last year's defending vault champ. Your thoughts, Jordan?
She was a little hop on the landing, but overall it was an excellent vault.
Kylie?
The judges like the extra difficulty. A lot of teams have 6 Yurchenko full, so it's nice to see them. They have 2 full-and-a-half Yurchenkos. Just good to see the mix-up.
Janelle Giblin, the first-team All-Big Tenner here on the beam for Nebraska. Won 6 event titles.
I think sticking is contagious today. In the early session, in this session, once it starts, everybody wants to one-up the person before them.
Janelle Giblin recording, we'll wait on her score. And Sharia Musser here anchoring for Penn State.
Tight lines, legs together, pointed toes, this entire routine. That's going to be a big score.
What'd you like on that, Jordan?
She had very beautiful release moves, and one of the most important things is hitting your handstands on bars, and she definitely did that.
And here's the vault specialist here for Michigan, Austin Shepard.
Last week we saw Austin nail that vault for a career high. Slight step on the landing, but she just has that dynamic. She has that height on the vault.
She had her first collegiate title against Iowa State last week. And she's a vault specialist. You have Michaela Maroney on your team. What does it take to be a vault specialist?
You definitely have to be very powerful, and you got to be able to hit under pressure. You only get one chance on vault, so the fact that she can go up and hit that vault in one try is pretty important.
Jennifer Lauer on the beam.
We just saw Minnesota's Shannon Gulich step out of bounds on her last tumbling pass, double pike. She's had a little too much power. She overdid it and had to take that extra step.
Before Golich, her teammate Janelle Campbell recording a 9.825. What is the key to keeping concentration when you have 4 events going at once, Jordan?
For me, I always just try to not let anything distract me. I kind of stayed in my little bubble or my own zone. That really helped. Just visualizing my routines and running through them in my head is very important.
Jennifer Lauer here in progress on the beam for Nebraska.
Leads the Huskers in beam titles earned this season. And another hit routine.
Janelle Giblin before her recording a 9.850. And the freshman, Lindsay Mabel, on the floor.
Next on the beam for Nebraska, Emily Wong.
She's had a couple of good floor routines, one last weekend, and before that, tied the school record at a 9.975. So out of the gates, what are you looking for in a good floor routine?
I think if they look like they're having fun out there, but also, you know, getting that good tumbling in and leap passes, that's very important. But the judges want to see you having fun and performing out there.
Getting a little pep talk from her coach.
We will wait on Lindsay Mabel's routine. But Jordan Weaver, kind enough to join us. You started gymnastics, I believe, at like the age of 4. Did it always come easy for you?
You know, it wasn't always easy. I worked very hard my whole entire life, so it took a lot of hard work and dedication, but, you know, I went to the gym every single day, and that's what got me to where I am.
Emily Wong has spent plenty of days in the gym as well. The defending all-around champ. One of the best beam performers here in the country. Solid as a rock.
Yes.
And difficult. Not many girls today are throwing a triple series back handspring, back layout, back layout.
Last year she won beam, floor, and the all-around, as you had mentioned, Kylie.
Nice leap series. Just very precise she is.
That's one of the top gymnasts in the country. What'd you think?
Very solid on beam. I think, you know, those step dismounts are really going to help them due to the fall that they had earlier, but I think they're going to be okay.
Jennifer Lauer recording the 9.9 before long there on the floor. So Nebraska, 4 solid routines to end that beam event. Kylie Sherman here. Or Lindsay Mabel, I'm sorry, for Minnesota.
We talked about her career high 9.975. She's gone over a 9.9 7 times this season. So just a very consistent athlete. Freshman making a big impact on this team.
When you see a freshman competing in her first Big Ten championships, she's got to have a little bit of nerves.
Definitely. There is a lot of pressure when you're competing for a team, but I think a lot of freshmen learn to handle it very well. So,
How do you hide your nerves?
you know, it just takes a lot of confidence. You have to trust in yourself and your coaches and everything you've worked for up until that moment.
Gearing up for her last pass. Looks like she undercut that last flip a bit. Not sure if she was supposed to do a front layout or a front
Yeah,
pike, but
Lindsay Mabel on the
ended up
floor,
tucking it.
Well, what kind of future do you see for someone like that as a freshman, just kind of earning her way here in the Big Ten?
I think it's very important, you know, to have a good freshman year and to be, you know, looks like one of the last girls on floor, sort of the anchor. You know, that's an important position to be in, and to hit it under pressure, that's very good.
Mabel in that 5th spot. Here is the final routine here for Minnesota. Mabel recording a 9.9
Minnesota, Kylie Sherman.
on that event.
Talking to herself a little bit before she walks out on the floor.
Does that help?
Of course. I always talk to myself.
gymnastic would you always like to compete to on floor?
I always try to choose something that fits my own personality, something that was fun, because I always love to smile on the floor. So over the years, I just always had upbeat, fun music and try to stick with that.
And it's been working for you.
Thank you.
Where does floor rank in terms of, you got beam at 1, in terms of favorite events?
Well, I love competing floor. Practicing beam is really fun, but when it comes to competition, I love going out there and performing to the crowd and smiling and just, having fun on floor.
Tell me what you see in this final pass here, Jordan.
It was a very nice final pass. She had her chest up on the landing and a nice finish.
Kylie Sherman, a sophomore, there for the Gophers. Co-champs in the regular season. Jordan Weber, we appreciate you taking the time. You're going to try and wrap up your senior year at DeWitt High School. You got senior pictures coming up. You're just
Yes.
a regular high school kid now, right?
Sort of. I try to keep it as normal as I can, but, still enjoying everything. So.
Well, it was great for us to have you here. We really appreciate the time.
Thank you for
Jordan Weber,
having me.
thank you. So 2 rotations done. We have 2 more to go before we crown a champion. Don't go away. Gymnastics on BTN is brought to you in part by the new Pink Lemonade 5-Hour Energy. Great new taste, same great energy. If you enjoy this, we want to remind you that tomorrow, men's gymnastics on BTN, the #1 Penn State Nittany Lions, taking on the #7 Golden Gophers in Minneapolis. Coverage beginning at noon Eastern. That's tomorrow on BTN. And speaking of Penn State, head coach Jeff Thompson joining us. Coach, we appreciate the time. We're now 2 rotations down, 2 more to go. Give us a little synopsis on where you feel like this team is.
Well, I just heard you talking about energy, and we got way too much of it. We were super excited, and on the first event, I don't think we had a stick. After 2 events, we only got 2 sticks out of 12 routines. So we're thrilled to be at a 98-1 after 2. We feel like we're still in the hunt. We got to do great gymnastics. We need to settle down, and we need to stick our landings.
Coach, talking to you yesterday, you said this team made a turning point after they competed at Nebraska earlier this year. And just last week, you went a season high on the next event, beam. What kind of turning point was that? Where is this team now compared to where they were?
Well, when we were on the road at Nebraska, we were within a half a point of them going into the last rotation. And our beam was terrible. We had a couple falls, our anchor fell. And when we got back, the girls just said, we're never going to let that happen again. The next week we went to Michigan. We were down by a 10th going into the last event. We nailed all 6 beam routines. So we've been doing very well. I don't want to jinx anybody. It's like talking about a no-hitter. But I expect us to finish out the meet very strong.
All right. Coach Thompson, we appreciate it. Thank you. Well, the team results, you see it there. Nebraska was leading after the first rotation, and Michigan has leapfrogged the Huskers. I think we're going to have a little competition here in these final 2 rotations. The results, the rotation #2 with Michigan on the vault. There you see it, the 9.95 from Katie Zorales. A season high and a career high for Zorales. And the bars for Penn State, led by Sharia Musser, part of that all-around competition there. We're putting the 9.9. And Nebraska was on the beam, and they needed to finish strong. The last 4 scores were strong. Jennifer Lauer, Emily Wong, a pair of 9.9s in the 5th and the 6th spot there for Nebraska. And finally on the floor for Minnesota, Kylie Sherman and Lindsay Mabel with the 9.9s again in that 5th and 6th place. They're there for a reason in those lineups. When their teams need the big scores, the big guns have to come and compete and perform.
We knew it was going to be a close competition today, fighting to the end, and all the teams are pretty close right now. Like Jeff said, they know they're going to finish out strong. They have a very strong beam team, very strong floor team. Everybody likes their rotation, so halfway, 2 more to go.
We're watching Penn State there on the beam, and Jeff Thompson told us that story yesterday about the turning point he felt like in that performance against Nebraska on the beam, and he said that really the team kind of took ownership and said this isn't going to happen again, and it hasn't. Like he said, you don't want to jinx the team, but they have had a different kind of focus on this event.
Jeff also said in their RQS right now and where they are ranked, they could possibly, if they score big, drop a 195 score. So they're looking for that today.
Beginning the third rotation with Shelby Geis on the bars here for Michigan.
Shelby missed that release move last week when we saw her in Ann Arbor. Grabbed on to the bar today, which is a good thing.
Geis sticks it.
That's what you need first up in the lineup. Solid bar routine to get Michigan rolling.
Jennifer Lauer now starting things off for Nebraska. They are 13th in the country in this event. Five gymnasts for the Huskers. We're all Big Ten, and 4 of them in this floor lineup.
Kind of a deep landing on that tumbling pass. Instead of easily taking the step back, just bent those knees a little bit extra. She's a powerful tumbler. Had been doing all around the first couple meets of the year. Must have been filling some spots. But has kept this spot in the floor lineup. Nice slow down part and dance. A lot of gymnasts have that slow part, catch their breath.
Gearing up for the final pass.
Just has a lot of power coming out of that last pass. Takes a bounce out of it instead of a step.
Back to Sachi Sugiyama. Just moments ago here on the bars here for Michigan. Shelby Geis before her recording the 9.875.
Sachi had a scary fall last week in Ann Arbor. Scott said was having some neck pain earlier this week. She was a little bit limited.
In fact, Michigan had a fall for the first time all season on the bars last weekend.
And she's just struggling right now on this bar routine. She cast it over. Her release move to the low bar was a little goofy, had to put her feet down. Scott said they put some extra time in on Thursday, and then she felt fine yesterday in the practice day. So if a gymnast tells a coach, I'm fine,
You have to believe it.
you have to believe her. Obviously something was
So not the
Going
score
on.
that Michigan's going to want to have there, but back to the vault here, Sierra Thompson.
huge front handspring, pike front half, nails the landing. She's happy, doing a little dance.
Take another look at this beauty.
Look at the height. The block she gets off the table is phenomenal. A tiny leg separation, but knows exactly where she is, plants those feet in the ground.
So Sierra Thompson will wait on her score, but getting the Gophers outright. Tied for 11th in the country in that event. This is the third rotation of the evening session. And Sachi Sugiyama.
After the fall we just saw, she's finishing off her routine just as the dismount to go. Obviously, a score Michigan is not going to want to count, but they have 4 more very talented, very strong bar workers. Hopefully they can get the job done.
We have Zoralis and Brittany Martinez, Joanna Sampson, Natalie Bielstein all coming up next. And Shelby Geis to lead things off for Michigan, a very good score, a 9.875. The evening session here. Illinois came out of that afternoon session as the team leader. We have the top 4 seeds here in this evening session. Shannon Golich.
Great Yurchenko full, a little under-rotated, had to take that step forward. Tried tries to pick her chest up at the end, which is the right thing to do. Great vault.
Before her, Sierra Thompson, her teammate on vault, reporting a 9.9, and that's a season high and a career high there for Thompson. Back to the bars. This is Katie Zorales.
Nice pirouette on top of the bar. Straight into her release move with Delchev. Great lines on this event for Katie. Just a dismount to go.
Oh, just a tiny little step.
Tiny step, but overall she hit the handstands. Great form.
Zorales recording a 9.875 on that routine moments ago. Back live to the vault, and Kylie Sherman, the sophomore.
Big vault. I was nervous. Her elbows looked a little more bent on the table than I have seen them previously, but she still got a nice block off the table and beautiful Yurchenko full.
Brittany Skinner now on the floor for Nebraska. One of the senior all-around competitors.
Dynamic tumbling from Brittany. That double pike was skyrocketed into the air.
Unique music selections, I'm telling you right now, for these Nebraska competitors so far.
If you have a certain style of dance that you're good at, you have to find the right music that goes with it. Full and a half, Granny Shushanova is what that last move is called, down to the floor.
It's a fun move and a fun name for a fun move.
Brittany didn't start this season in the all-around, like I said, coming back from an injury. Her first 2 times back in this floor lineup, she actually had a mistake, but the last couple weeks and weekends has been doing great.
Her teammates, Desiree Stevens and Jennifer Lauer before her, recording 9.8s here on the floor. We'll wait on Brittany Skinner's score. But a big hug. And so far, so good for Nebraska on this event. Headed back over to the bars moments ago, Brittany Martinez here on the uneven bars. A first-team All-American in 2011 on this event.
Brittany's such a beautiful athlete to watch. This bar routine, very dynamic. Second half of her bar routine, more difficult than the first. Finishes with a double layout dismount. Slight hop. I know they're a little nervous over there after Sachi's fall, but nailed it. Michigan's on the right track.
And Brittany Martinez on that routine, the score coming in as a 9.9 on that event. Lindsay Mabel, the freshman, here on vault.
Huge Yurchenko full. She is just so laid out in the perfect body position in the air. Great Yurchenko full.
Well, Mabel recording a 9.9. She's only a freshman, and she is coming to compete here in her first Big Ten championships.
I was going to say, that's going to be a big score for Minnesota.
It was. Joanna Sampson knows all about big scores. She's here on the bars for Michigan.
Joanna, very powerful athlete, knows how to swing this event. Career high is a 9.9. Very difficult dismount here. And she downgraded. She usually does a full twist in that double layout. Maybe because of the fall, they wanted her to go simple, but that was a double layout. Great routine.
That downgraded routine, though, she still got a 9.85 on that routine just moments ago. Back to the vaults. Kayla Schlechter
Big vault from Kayla. This is her main event. She received a 10 from one judge earlier in the year. Just knows how to use it to her advantage.
That was our first look at Kayla Schlechter today. There's a storyline developing here, Kylie. You mentioned Lindsay Mabel. She's got 9 nines on all 3 events so far on her day. Right now we're at the bars. Crystal Welsh.
I would say that's a good day.
Slightly. Well, Penn State not having the kind of performance here on this event. Samantha Musto with a 9.575. Alexis Carroll, the 9.55. So after Stouter led off with a 9.85, they need to have a couple of big performances starting here with Welsh.
Solid punch front. Always a tough skill. Have to be straight on. And a back handspring, gainer, layout full. That's the routine they needed to get them back on the right track.
See if that builds momentum as they go into their big guns in the 5th and 6th spot. Back to the bars and Natalie Bielstein.
This isn't Natalie's first choice of events.
You said that she has improved so much
She
in her
really
career.
has. When she came in as a freshman, it was hard to watch. She's such an awesome gymnast, so talented, and this just wasn't her event. Look at her now, anchoring the bar lineup for University of Michigan. Career high last weekend, stuck dismount. I'm so happy for Natalie.
And Bielstein in that routine recording a 9.9. We head back to the floor and Emily Wong. 7th in the country in this event.
She throws difficult tricks like that and executes them perfectly every time. It's not one of those clean and simple and consistent type of routines. She throws the hard moves.
Next on the beat for Penn State, Sydney Cynthia Rutland.
Won this event last year at Big Tens. All-American on this event.
Hard to believe, but her coach thinks she's better this year than last year.
It's always nice to see an athlete improve every year in their career. That's not always the case, but nice to see when it happens. Big front Rudy from Emily Wong. This will be a big score for Nebraska.
Emily Wong is used to big scores. The defending all-around champ. And there's a plea for a 10. A couple of 10s. The enthusiastic Nebraska fans making the trip. Jenny Covers moments ago here on the vault for Minnesota.
Went for that stick. She really did. Was forced to take a tiny step to the side.
Covers recording a 9.85. Holly Blansky here on the floor.
Big double tuck to finish her routine.
She finished with a 9.9 on that routine. One of the freshmen here for Nebraska. Well, Emily Wong, they were calling, those folks were calling for a 10, and she was getting a 9.975. She was close.
Very close. There are 4 judges at the championship with the 4 judges, you drop the high, you drop the low, and you average the 2. They liked that performance.
And that is a season and career high for Emily Wong. Jessie DeZiel will finish things off here for Nebraska.
Another athlete who throws the difficult moves. Jessie just did a pike pull in. Difficult and beautiful. Jessie tied teammate Emily Wong for the Big Ten floor title last year.
Dan Kendig said one of the best freshmen I can remember. Just a sensational freshman year and backing that up as a sophomore sensation.
A little short on the landing. She'll slight deduction for that, maybe a half 10.
Well, the lowest score Nebraska got so far on this event, a 9-8. Desiree Stevens and Jennifer Lauer, those were their first and second gymnasts on that event. We'll take a look at the Minnesota results here on the vault. Pair of 9-9, Sarah Thompson and Lindsay Mabel. And like I said, keep an eye on Lindsay Mabel. All 3 of her scores so far tonight, 9-9s. On the bars here for Michigan, a couple of 9-9s. Brittany Martinez, Natalie Bielstein. So Michigan did not have to count Sachi Sugiyama's score. And here is Sharia Musser, the senior, the all-arounder, and this is her event. Talk about 10s. One of the judges gave her a 10 on senior night in the meeting against Kentucky last weekend.
She's just a beautiful athlete to watch on this event. I'm sure it's tough after seeing your teammate fall in front of you, but that's why she's in this anchor spot. She knows how to take it and handle it and control those emotions and nerves.
You get to watch her compete as a Big Ten gymnast. She held it.
She had to fight for it, but she held it. Beautiful routine from Sharia.
Nebraska, I mentioned the lowest score for the Huskers, a 9-8 on the floor. And Jessie DeZiel rounding things out with a season-high 9.95. It has been back and forth between Nebraska and Michigan between these 3 rotations, and another solid performance for Dan Kendig's crew there on floor. We have one more rotation to go to crown a Big Ten champion. The trophy awaits. Gymnastics on BTN is presented by Pure Silk, rich and luxurious shave cream for women for legs that look and feel like Pure Silk. Also in part by Alpha Factor, your source for custom gymnastics apparel. Compete with confidence. You can always hear from BTN personalities, get programming information and so much more. Follow the BTN on Twitter and on Facebook today. Close one after 3 rotations. We knew the evening session would be close, and look at that. The difference between Nebraska and Michigan, 15/100ths of a point.
It is a very close one. Michigan finishing on beam, Nebraska finishing on vault.
Your final results for Penn State on the beam. I guess we jinxed the Nittany Lions a little bit. Coach and us, the broadcasters jinxed, but Sharia Musser coming through in that anchor spot, the 9.875. And on the floor, no jinx for the Huskers. The 9.975 for Emily Wong. A 9.95 for Jessie Bazile.
They're just a powerful floor team. That was fun to watch.
Nebraska Cornhuskers 13th in the country in that event. And joining us now, head coach Dan Kendig. Coach, we appreciate your time and just a solid floor performance here from your 6th gymnasts. Did you see that coming from them?
Well, I tell you what, we've had great practices the last 2 weeks, and we're right where we need to be this time of year, and we're headed on a good event. This is a close meet, and I just feel like we got to do what we do on vault, and I don't like the outcome of this.
Coach, you got the highest score in the country last week on this event, vault. It is a tight competition, like you said. What do you need to do to stay focused and get done what you need to?
You know exactly what we need to do. It's all about landings, and we just got to, just told him before we went over there, we can't get too high and we can't be too low. We just got to go do our thing and get the landings, show it off, and bring it home.
Coach, before we let you go, are you a scoreboard watcher, and do you want your girls to know how close this is going into the final rotation?
Not right now. I think vault's a quick event. They can watch all they want after our 6th vault lands.
All right, Coach, thank you. We appreciate it.
All right, bye.
Kylie Bauderman-Caloric would know. You said in the afternoon session you always wanted to know going into the final rotation.
There's a big scoreboard right over our heads that I know every one of these athletes is looking at the scores. As much as they shouldn't be, they know how close of a competition it is.
You know, Jeff Thompson told me he doesn't want his girls looking. He doesn't want them knowing. Meg Stevenson won't look up at the scoreboard, she said. She goes, they hand us results at the end, and I don't even want to see them. I just want our girls focused.
Well, Michigan's a faster event than Flores, so when they finished, they were huddling up over there, talking to each other, trying not to watch Nebraska on floor.
Nebraska will finish on vault, as we heard Minnesota on bars, Michigan on beam, and Penn State on floor.
It's tough ending over on beam. It really is. It's the most nerve-wracking event, most gymnasts and athletes would say. But this is a powerful beam squad, and they know what they need to do up there.
The toughest events. We'll learn a lot about Bev Plotke and her team going into this. Was this her event?
This is the event she coaches. This is solely her event. She has full control over every event, but she is the head coach on beam and knows exactly how to train these girls.
So she's walking around and watching her athletes compete on the beam with that stopwatch. What is the purpose of that stopwatch?
There's only 3 minutes and 30 seconds for warm-ups, and each girl is supposed to get 30 seconds. So she's just calling out, okay, you have 10 seconds left before you need to get down. Some girls only take 10 seconds. Some girls like the full 30. So just nice to know.
You're looking at Emily Wong, the defending all-around champion. You saw there, she is leading the all-around race again this year. We're going to see what Nebraska and Michigan are made up of here in this final rotation. The Big Ten championship here up for grabs. The regular season co-champ against the defending champ.
I think they said aggressive at the top of that huddle.
Well, aggressive and effective is what Michigan has been on the beam. Tied for 6th in the country. They were tied with Nebraska for those team scores. Shelby guys to start things off.
Shelby's the leadoff over on bars, also the leadoff on beam. One arm back handspring to a layout step out. Difficult, she's only using one arm on that back handspring. Sometimes throws you off a bit, off balance, but she
this building against Michigan State. Reported a career high 9.925.
So far, so good. I love to watch her on this event. Very nice lines. Just has a flowy dance routine.
And she stuck it. So Michigan off to the start that it needed. One routine down. And take another look at this dismount.
Cartwheel step down to the full and a half. Tiny, 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 tiny step there on the end. Beautiful routine from Shelby.
A quick hug from Katie Zorales and the head coach. We'll head back over now to the leadoff on vault for Nebraska, Janelle Giblin. A first-team All-American in vault back-to-back years.
First one up and a stick. Dan said they need to hit the landings to go big on this event. That will be a big score. First one.
A 9.95 there for Janelle Giblin. And moments ago, Jenny Covers starting things off on bars for Minnesota.
Tkachev immediately to her overshoot. She was a little high on the bar. Still was able to pull out the kick.
So a solid routine there for the sophomore. We head now to Michigan and back to the beam, Brittany Martinez. So Shelby Geis reporting a 9.85 in the leadoff spot. Janelle Giblin edging it out a little bit with a 9.95. Those are your leadoff scores between the two teams.
Off balance, Brittany is, and she saves it. Pulls her chest right up and stays on the beam. You can't go tentative right now on this event. You can't go easy because you're nervous. You have to give it your all, be confident, and the girls know that.
Brittany Martinez, one of the three seniors on the dismount.
Very powerful dismount. Overdoes it, has to take that step forward, but she stays on, she fights for it.
Going back to vaulter number 2 here for Nebraska, Desiree Stevens.
Solid Yurchenko full from Desiree. Nice form in the air, just takes that step.
Stevens, her score coming in at a 9.85. And again, before her, Janelle Giblin with the season high of a 9.95. Going into this fourth and final rotation, Nebraska is behind Michigan 15/100ths of the point. And so it has come down to these last two events. On bars, Janelle Campbell here from Minnesota. Her coach says she is just a beautiful bar worker.
Nice pirouetting on top of the bar. She could have finished a little more in handstand, but she is a great bar worker. She has that nice line. And a difficult but stuck dismount.
A beautiful bar worker and a beautiful landing there for Janelle Campbell, and a big-time hug for her head coach. Annette Mealy now up, the third gymnast on the beam here for Michigan in her only event here tonight. Brittany Martinez before her reporting the 9.6. And Desiree Stevens a 9.85 for Nebraska on the ball.
Very solid beam worker. Annette's career high 9.875. She can put up the big scores. is standing there just in case. But she nailed it. Beautiful, beautiful beam routine.
Holly Blansky, the freshman. Oh, wow.
She went 9.95 last week. Nebraska is hitting these landings so perfectly right now.
Last week a 9.95, this week a 9.95. Nebraska so far, 3 big scores here on the vault. Have gained some ground here in this rotation on the Michigan Wolverines.
Michigan's really going to have to step it up, be putting up some big scores.
Lindsey Musgrove now on the floor for Penn State.
Beautiful combination
Next on the vault for
pass.
Nebraska, Jessie Nazil. Next on the bars for Minnesota, Lindsay Beagle. And next on the beat for Michigan, Riley Casanova.
Finishes up here. Back handspring double tuck. Chest low on the landing. She'll be slightly deducted for that.
Back live, Riley Casanova on the beam for Michigan. A freshman put in a tough spot here for the Wolverines.
To hop on the dismount, Riley's been very consistent for Michigan.
Before her, Annette Mealy recording a 9.8. We go back to the vault with Brittany Skinner, the senior, in the 4th slot here for Nebraska.
Another stick, another big score.
And Brittany Skinner has had several good scores here. Another 9.950 for Nebraska. Back-to-back 9.95s for the Huskers. So back and forth we go in this final rotation, a championship up for grabs. Coming down to Michigan and Nebraska in the 4th and final rotation. Nebraska on the vault, Michigan on the beam. Now the rotations and the draws were done randomly. Did it matter what you had done in the regular season?
And some coaches we talked to about that. I mean, everybody's different, but if you're ranked higher, should you get rewarded and be able to choose which event you start on?
A flashback, Emily Wong, the all-around champ. She was solid on all 4 events. And Kylie, I remember talking to her afterwards, and she could not wipe that smile off her face. She couldn't believe it.
She didn't know what to say. She was so excited.
Now here's that smile. And there's the gymnast, Emily Wong, in the 5th spot here for Nebraska.
Just a slight hop back, but she's so high in the air, has the perfect form in the air. It will still be a big score.
It is a 9.925 for that vault just moments ago for Emily Wong. And Joanna Sampson on beam. One of the best all-arounders in the country.
Joanna's athlete all around. You saw her previous scores tonight from all the other events.
7 all-around wins this year. 11 for her career.
And she's only a junior. She gets to come back for one more year, which is exciting and great for Michigan's program.
Finishes off her routine. Riley Casanova before her, a 9.675. Jessie DeZiel for Nebraska to wrap things up for the Huskers, who have been rock solid so far on this event. And they finish rock solid.
Beautiful ball. Jessie's used to doing a Yurchenko full and a half, so waters it down a bit and does the Yurchenko full, just a slight step back.
So a 9.95 there for DeZiel and Nebraska. We head over to the floor, and Madison Merriam here for Penn State. She has gone a 9.925 the last 2 weeks.
And she was Big Ten Specialist of the Week, I believe, for one of those 9.925s. Big double pike from Maddie.
Madison Merriam, the senior, in the 5th spot, and Sharia Musser in the 6th spot for Penn State on this event. Two seniors, well, they're watching their final events here in Big Ten competition.
Finishes Rudy to a split jump.
Heading back to the beam, Katie Zorales now. And her final event.
Katie 4th in the Big Ten on this event. Solid, just has to pick up that front foot a little bit, make sure she's directly over the beam. Double pull dismount.
And a strong finish for Zorales and for Michigan. Sampson before her recording the 9.85, and Lindsay Mabel, talk about big scores. Look at that, 9 9s across the board for the freshman here tonight.
Let's see if she can get one more on her last event.
Meg Stevenson said she was working on a new dismount with this routine.
We'll see if she throws it. I love her handstand work. She holds that handstand every time and just shows the judges. And she does it. Full out dismount, step forward. She's a little bit short on the landing, but great routine. Lindsay was just on fire today.
The first non-9-9 score, but flashback to Sharia Musser, the all-around winner in 2011. The top gymnast. What a career she has had here at Penn State. It's just been solid across the board when the Nittany Lions have always needed a score.
She has been, and she's a senior. Unfortunately, Penn State won't be getting her back next year, but she has just had an awesome career.
That 4-inch mat, Coach was telling us she needed to use her ankle locking up sometimes with an injury that she's battling with.
Said we have to cross our fingers that it doesn't happen during the meet, and so far she's still competing, which is a good sign.
And I asked Jeff Thompson, is there any consideration of not making her an all-arounder? And he said, oh no. She is going to compete in all 4 events.
By choice. She's a senior. It's her last year. She wants to do this for the team.
10th in the all-around in the country.
Up here. 2.5 twist, overdoes it, takes that big step forward. Shreya had a great night tonight, hitting all 4 events.
We'll wait on her score. Madison Merriam, her senior teammate, 9-9, right before her on the floor. So a little bit of drama going into this final rotation. We knew that all 4 of these teams would be close. You had the co-champs in Minnesota and Michigan here competing. You had Dan Kendig and the defending champs. And we will give you the absolute final results and crown a champion when we come back. Back here, 4 rotations done. BTN Gymnastics presented by Pure Silk in the evening session. 8 teams competing. The 2 different sessions are Alpha Factor athlete Jessie DeZiel of Nebraska here on the vault. The all-around runner-up. But on that vault, recording in the 9.95. Tied for first in the vault in the Big Ten. You see right there why.
For the 2nd week in a row, she went 9.95. Counted a little bit more today for the championships, but very solid vault.
We're waiting on the tabulations and the official score here. The all-around results for these gymnasts. Emily Wong winning back-to-back all-around titles, followed by her teammate Jessie DeZiel. And you saw Joanna Sampson and then Lindsay Mabel. Alina Weinstein competing in the afternoon session. Let's take a look at tonight's Pure Silk performance of the meet, and it is Emily Wong in the all-around, the 39.725 performance.
Just a fun athlete to watch, Emily is, and especially winning last year as well. Just icing on the cake. 2 years in a row, first 2 years in the Big Ten Conference.
Nebraska certainly making a mark. 2 years in the Big Ten and 2 Big Ten championships. Nebraska coming into this 4th rotation needed some big numbers. It got it. How about that? 1, 2, 3, 4 9.95s there for the Huskers at the end.
They got to drop a 9.85. That's crazy to me.
And bars from Minnesota, Janelle Campbell pacing the way with a 9.9. Lindsay Mabel, a solid day. It's the only time she didn't get a 9.9, a 9.85 there on that event. And Michigan had the lead coming into the 4th rotation. Finished on the toughest event here on beam. Shelby Geis and Joanna Sampson, solid 9.85 scores. Penn State on the floor. Madison Merriam, the senior, with a 9.9. Shreya Musser had a 9.8 to anchor the way there for Penn State on the floor. Bev Flocky checking out here the final results. Her Michigan Wolverines, the regular season co-champs with Michigan, but here's our championship results there after session 2. Nebraska with a big-time performance on that vault. 197.8. Your Big Ten champions.
Pretty sure that's a season high for them. It has to be exciting. The second year in the conference, two-time champions. They have to be proud of their team, and I'm sure it will help them excel in the postseason.
Dan Kendig said before this meet, with our vaults, we don't really try to do anything that's that different from what everyone else does. We kind of approach it in a routine fashion, but lately we've had 4 or 5 stick. Today they had 6 stick, and stick big time.
You saw those numbers, 4 995s, 1 9925. They were on fire over there. Nebraska looked amazing all around today.
A couple of season highs for Brittany Skinner with a 995. That's a season and career high. And Janelle Giblin with the season high of a 995. So the second year that the Big Ten has had this sort of format, an afternoon session and an evening session, and both times Nebraska has come away as back-to-back champs. The first team all Big Ten announced, and during the banquet last night, there's your photo of your first team all Big Ten gymnasts and your second team all Big Ten gymnasts. It's the event Friday night where all of these teams and all of these gymnasts come together, the Sportsmanship Award recipients for 2013, and it really is kind of a great event, as you were saying, to round out everything. Your results, with everyone included, the afternoon session and the evening session. Again, Nebraska, your 2013 Big Ten champions here at the championships. Nebraska, then Michigan, Minnesota, Illinois, Ohio State, Penn State, Michigan State, and Iowa. Well, it's been fun. 8 teams competing in 2 different sessions, and Nebraska coming away as champions. Don't forget, the men's gymnastics championships are coming up Friday and Saturday, April 5th and 6th from Minneapolis. For Kylie Kalorick, I'm Lisa Byington saying so long from East Lansing.